They ignored the old man, but he wasn't what he seemed. It was one of those bitterly cold mornings in downtown Chicago, where the wind cuts through your coat like it's made of paper and people walk a little faster, speak a little less, and try to disappear into their scarves and hoods. Among the crowd shuffling past the storefronts and blinking traffic lights stood an old man, stooped, silent, and nearly invisible. His coat was torn at the elbow, his shoes were more whole than leather, and he clutched a paper coffee cup with both hands, not for the drink but for the warmth. Most people didn't see him. Or if they did, they looked away just as quickly. He stood outside the same coffee shop every morning. Daily Grounds. It was a place buzzing with life, young professionals grabbing their double-shot lattes, students tapping away on laptops, baristas calling out orders in cheerful tones. But no one ever invited him in. He never asked for money, never begged. Just stood there, quiet, eyes scanning the sidewalk as if searching for something long lost. One woman, Sarah, noticed him once. A graphic designer in her early 30s, she passed the old man every morning on her way to work. At first, she barely registered him, a background blur in the city's relentless motion. But something about his posture, his stillness amidst the chaos, stuck with her. One day, on impulse, she bought an extra muffin and handed it to him on her way out. He looked at her, eyes cloudy but kind, and said nothing, only nodded with the faintest of smiles. Days passed. Then weeks. Sarah kept bringing small things, coffee, soup, gloves. She didn't know why exactly. He never asked, never spoke much beyond, thank you, or God bless. But something told her he had a story. Others watched her with curiosity or indifference. Some rolled their eyes. That guy's been standing there for months, said Tom, a regular at the cafe. Probably just another drifter looking for handouts. But Sarah wasn't convinced. One snowy Tuesday, she sat next to him on the bench outside the shop. I'm Sarah, she said. What's your name? He looked at her for a long moment, like he was weighing whether to speak. Call me Jack, he said finally. That was the beginning. Little by little, Jack opened up. He'd been a teacher once, a history professor, in fact. He taught at a university not far from the city. Used to talk about kings and revolutions, wars and peace treaties, he chuckled, his voice rough with time. Then one day, life handed me my own revolution. A car accident, he said. Took his wife. Took his leg, though a prosthetic covered the loss. Took his home, eventually. The insurance ran out, the bills piled up, and the friends he once had, they faded. People don't know what to say when grief takes up all your space, he said. So they just stop saying anything. Sarah listened. She didn't try to fix it. She didn't offer platitudes. She just sat with him. In the weeks that followed, she started inviting him into the cafe, insisting he sit with her and have a proper meal. At first, he resisted, saying he didn't want to disturb the other customers. But she smiled and said, let them be disturbed. Kindness is supposed to shake things up. Others began to notice. Some regulars started leaving their change in Jack's coffee cup. A couple of college students began bringing him extra bagels from the bakery down the block. The baristas, once wary, learned his name and started greeting him like an old friend. The invisible man had become seen. One morning, a sharply dressed man in a navy wool coat walked into the cafe. He glanced around before approaching Jack, who was sipping tea with Sarah at their usual table near the window. Excuse me, the man said, are you Professor John Harold Langston? Jack stiffened, his face tightening. Used to be. Why? I'm Peter Lawson. I was one of your students. You probably don't remember, but, you changed my life. The entire cafe seemed to pause. I was failing everything, Peter went on. You told me I wasn't stupid, that I just hadn't been taught how to believe in myself. You stayed after class with me. You gave me books. You even paid for my application to graduate school when my parents couldn't. I never got to thank you." Jack said nothing. His eyes had welled up. Peter continued, "I run a non-profit now. We help underserved youth with education and job training. And we could really use a history consultant, someone with experience. Someone like you." Jack blinked. "I haven't taught in 20 years." Peter smiled. "Then you've got 20 years of stories the world still needs." The offer wasn't charity, it was purpose. And Jack, for the first time in a long while, said yes without hesitation. The weeks that followed were transformative. Jack moved into temporary housing Peter helped arrange. He started consulting, then mentoring, then speaking at events. The kids loved him, especially when he told history like a campfire tale, full of drama and hope. He always ended with, "History doesn't belong to kings. It belongs to the people who care enough to remember." The cafe never forgot either. Jack still came every morning. But now, he came in through the front door, with a smile and a scarf someone had knitted for him. The once ignored man had become a source of light. One December morning, Sarah came in to find a small package on her usual table. Inside was a worn leather notebook filled with Jack's handwriting. At the front, a note. "To Sarah, who saw me when I couldn't even see myself. This is my story. Or rather, the beginning of it. Thank you for reminding me it's never too late to turn the page." She wept quietly, her heart full. The whole cafe watched, not with discomfort, but reverence. From that day on, the bench outside Daily Grounds had a small plaque. "In honor of Jack Langston, teacher, friend, and reminder that every soul has a story worth hearing." People still walk fast in downtown Chicago. The wind still bites, and the streets are just as loud. But now, more than a few passers-by stop when they see someone standing alone. Because kindness, once given, ripples outward. And Jack? He wasn't what he seemed. He was more. He was a reminder that sometimes, the people we overlook are the ones who carry the brightest light. All it takes is someone willing to look a little closer.